Woman ends relationship because he doesn't want kids. If you've ever faced a choice that could break your heart and set you free at the same time, this story is for you. We often grow up believing that love alone can conquer everything, that if two people care enough, every difference can be solved, every dream can merge into one path. But the truth is more complicated. Sometimes love isn't about holding on. Sometimes love asks for the deepest courage of all, the courage to let go. Emma and Daniel had built a love that felt unshakable. Their apartment held years of laughter, whispered plans, and quiet routines that made life feel safe and full. They traveled together, celebrated each other's victories, and found comfort in the ordinary. To anyone watching, they looked like the perfect couple. But beneath the warmth of their connection, a quiet question had begun to grow. Emma dreamed of becoming a mother. It wasn't a fleeting wish. It was a calling that pulsed inside her heart, a vision of her future she could see as clearly as the morning sun. For a long time, she kept the thought close, hoping it might somehow work itself out, but dreams have a way of demanding to be heard. When she finally brought it up, Daniel listened carefully. His eyes were kind, but his truth was firm. He loved Emma deeply, but he knew he didn't want children ever. There was no hidden reason, no compromise waiting to be discovered. It simply wasn't his path. His honesty was a gift, but it landed like a stone in Emma's chest. They spent hours talking, their words heavy with affection and sorrow. Emma wanted to believe that love could overcome everything, but deep down she knew that asking either of them to surrender their deepest truth would only lead to resentment. Love, real love, doesn't demand that you betray yourself. And so, with tears and trembling hearts, they chose to part. The night Emma left, the city felt colder. Every street corner echoed with memories of their laughter. Every step away from their apartment felt like walking out of a dream she wasn't ready to wake from. But she kept moving because sometimes the bravest act of love is stepping away. The days that followed were painfully quiet. Emma woke to an apartment that felt too big, mornings that stretched too long. Loneliness arrived in waves, sometimes crashing hard, other times slipping in softly when she least expected it. But within that silence, a small shift began. For the first time in years, Emma had nothing to compromise for. Her future was no longer tethered to someone else's choice. She began to hear her own thoughts more clearly. She took long walks after work, letting the rhythm of her steps steady her heart. She joined a weekend writing class, something she had always wanted to do but postponed for years. Slowly, the emptiness started to feel like space for healing, space for dreams, space for a life she had yet to create. Months passed and gratitude began to replace grief. Emma learned to see her story not as a failure, but as proof of her capacity to love deeply and let go gracefully. Heartbreak, as cruel as it feels, became a powerful teacher. The love she shared with Daniel wasn't wasted. It had given her courage, empathy, and a strength she hadn't known she possessed. Nights were still lonely, but they were also hers. For the first time in years, she woke each day knowing her life belonged entirely to her. As time moved forward, Emma noticed that the world around her seemed to shift in gentle ways. Saturday mornings became sacred slow breakfasts, long walks and journals filled with thoughts she once buried beneath the noise of daily life. Friends who had once tiptoed around her heartbreak began to see something new in her eyes, a quiet confidence, a resilience born from surviving what she once thought would break her. One evening, as the sun dipped below the skyline, Emma ran into Daniel by chance. Their eyes met, and for a heartbeat, the memories came rushing back. The shared jokes, the late night talks, the comfort of a love that once felt like forever. They exchanged a warm smile, gentle and full of understanding. There was no bitterness, no regret. Only respect for the path they had taken and the courage it required. Daniel told her how proud he was of the life she was building. Emma felt a wave of peace wash over her. She realized that love doesn't have to end in resentment to be real. Sometimes the most profound relationships are the ones that teach you how to let go without hate. Their goodbye was simple, but full of meaning, a silent acknowledgement that their story mattered, even if it didn't lead to forever. As the seasons changed, Emma discovered that letting go wasn't a single decision, but a daily practice. There were mornings when memories tugged at her heart, tempting her to replay old conversations or wonder what might have been. Instead of resisting, she honored those memories with gratitude. Each word she wrote in her journal released a little more of the weight she carried. Letting go no longer felt like losing. It began to feel like reclaiming. The love she once shared with Daniel didn't disappear. It lived on in the way she treated people, in the empathy she offered strangers, and in the quiet strength she carried into every room. She no longer feared loss, because she understood that love's true power lies not in permanence, but in presence. Whether it lasts a season or a lifetime, love is valuable simply because it is shared. Emma's journey taught her that love isn't measured by how long it stays, but by how deeply it transforms you. Letting go doesn't erase love. It allows it to grow beyond the limits of a single relationship. Love is not about clinging to someone who cannot walk the same path. It is about honoring your truth even when it breaks your heart. It is about letting go with gratitude so that both people can grow into who they were meant to be. The greatest love you will ever experience begins with the courage to love yourself first. And when you do, every ending becomes a beginning, every heartbreak becomes a lesson, and every step forward becomes a celebration of the life you were meant to live.